Hey y'all, Choice here. Thank you so very much for joining me again. Thank you so very much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. And I wanted to speak a little bit on how we can begin to become more mindful about what's going into our subconscious mind. Because we know now that the information that goes into our subconscious mind is the beginning of programming. It's how we are programmed and indoctrinated, So a lot of this stuff we talked about before, we are indoctrinated as children. When we go to school, when we're learning, and things are repeated, or we're made to write things over and over and over. The teacher repeats over and over and over. We go home, we do homework, we study. All of these things then becomes a part of the knowledge. And as I talked about before, not all knowledge is right knowledge. Because we know a lot of that information given in school was not right knowledge. I'm just saying. Did Christopher Columbus really discover America? Not. And the list goes on. So with that said, information becomes part of our knowledge, our foundation, and then based on that foundation, we begin to build our lives with misinformation. A lot of the information given were with symbols. Many of us grew up watching cartoons or playing video games and going to the movies and listening to certain songs, and of course certain vibratory frequencies that are in the sounds of the music. Commercials playing songs over and over again that we become very familiar with, that we sing even when we're not thinking about the commercial, but we're singing the jingle. How do we begin to at least become more aware of how we are taking in information, to deliberately choose what information becomes a part of us? It's going to take concentration. It's going to take focus. It's going to take setting intentions to redirect and in some cases uproot certain things, but more importantly, redirect, change your focus. When you change your focus, you change who you be. When you change what you focus on, you change who you be. Okay? So I know it seems kind of crazy, but really, when you are making a conscious decision to choose new point of views, I think I mentioned this before, but like sitting in the audience, going into a theater and choosing your seat. And from that seat, you will see the show, whatever show it is. Each person in that audience will see it from a different perspective, though they're all watching the same show. If you decide to get up from your seat and go sit in another seat, you will then have a new point of view. And the way that you describe the show that you saw might be a little different from what you may have said had you been sitting in that other seat. Had you been sitting in that other seat, you would have saw the show from a different perspective. So I'm suggesting that set intentions to change your point of view. If you find that you've been watching stuff about starvation, storms, incarcerated people, the news, and on and on and on, and you go for it. Okay? If perhaps someone is dealing with health issues, and I will go into that in another show, another session, because talking about health issues, when people are dealing with health issues and telling them about the renewing of the mind, it's like, I know what I'm going through. Don't talk to me about that mess. It doesn't work. This is basically the mindset. And so you can't, shift them from that. And it's okay. I understand and respect that. But there is a way in which we can lift ourselves out of any condition by the renewing of our minds. So if we shift our position, our seat, it's a beginning. Because now you have a new perspective. People have even done studies that says, we have multiple personalities. Not a personality disorder, but we have multiple personalities. I know that. I can get on here and do videos and feel one way one day and another way another day, and you'll see two different people, even in my facial expressions, even in the way that I speak and the way that I move. There you are seeing a different person in the same skin, same face, but a different personality. And so depending on who you are being is what you will attract. So I'm just simply suggesting visualize yourself taking a different seat and seeing life in a different way by giving yourself a break from those narratives that are so up and in your face on purpose, designed to disrupt your joy, to disrupt your flow, to disrupt your ascension. But remember, the spiritual side, we're creating it. We're part of this this thing we must choose. We're creating the other sides, all sides. We're the co-creator, we're the part of this. The Almighty Creator of all creation gave us free will to do this. And so we are expressing our free will, and we are living out the decisions that we are making in our expression of free will. Much love, Choice here. Thank you so very much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Peace. Namaste.